Hey, I'm Ewdi Rosario from POPPYN. Living in Philadelphia, I've always been fascinated with Chinatown. Usually after school, I would hang out with my friends and we'll shop, eat, and just have fun walking around the neighborhood. However, one day while scrolling through Instagram, I saw that there was a proposed arena by the 76ers near Chinatown. Knowing Chinatown's importance to the community and Philly's identity, I couldn't understand why they would threaten such a historical place. I spoke with students, educators, and organizers to learn more about what Chinatown means to the community and the fight to preserve the last cultural enclave in the city.
Chinatown is an important space to me because this is what I tell everyone, I would describe it as a second home to me.
Chinatown is an important space to me because for my family as a child of not just immigrants but refugees as well, Chinatown was an important landing space for them.
Chinatown's important to me because I grew up going to Chinatown pretty much every single day because I went to FACS, Folk Arts Cultural Treasures Charter School.
I got involved with the Save Chinatown Coalition. I think I found out through an announcement at school. At school, I'm a part of this club called Asian Pacific Islander Union, where we do a lot of political stuff, where we teach other students, bring awareness to issues about the API community into school through workshops and stuff. And that's when one of my teachers, the sponsor for the club, Mr. Hung, he mentioned that, there's a proposal going on for the arena.
I got involved in the movement basically through my mom. When the arena proposal was announced, she met back up with all of her co-organizers that she fought with against the casino and the stadium. She just invited me to come to this sort of first organizing meeting that she was going to provide my perspective as a college student and a young person, and to sort of think about the things that college students can do to get involved.
As soon as you get to a big rally or something like that, you always encounter these counter protesters, aka the people part of the union, majority Black people who are very who want the arena to be there. And upon that first encounter, I don't know, I realized that I was the only Black person fighting against the arena, at least in these crowds. Black Relief for Chinatown didn't exist yet. Nothing really existed to where I could be there's somebody like me fighting for this. And I saw that because I was the only one doing it, I was I have to keep on doing it. I feel by my presence and by my being here, I'm, showing that solidarity. Even though it's not this widespread solidarity that we see now, but I just knew that me being there was showing some aspect of racial solidarity. So I knew I had to keep on going.
Through these interviews, I learned that this isn't the first time Chinatown has had to fight against these developers. I spoke to Mr. Hung, a teacher at my high school and an organizer for the fight against the 76ers arena.
So the history of Philadelphia, China has been, there's always been all these different kinds of projects, right, by the city or private developers to carve up a piece of Chinatown, for purposes of profit. For example, in the 1970s, there was the building of the Vine Street Expressway, right? It's an attempt back in 2008 to build a casino near Chinatown. There was a proposed Philly stadium that was to have been built in the northern parts of Chinatown, and people organized and successfully stopped that from happening. And now today, if you go there, right, there's the rail park, and then there's the FACS Charter School. There's also the Asian Arts Initiative.
Supporters of the 76ers arena were excited over the prospect of an economic boost, easily accessible basketball games, and seasonal but newly generated jobs. However, these impacts would severely harm the businesses and livelihood of the people within Chinatown. These impacts are commonly seen during gentrification. Gentrification is a process whereby the culture of an under-resourced area is replaced by wealthier inhabitants moving in, buying property, and replacing long-standing businesses, typically displacing current inhabitants. This could look like your current corner store being replaced by a trendy new coffee shop, or even a newly renovated apartment that seems out of place.
I think gentrification comes from a misguided understanding of what is best for Philadelphia. I'm not against progress. Gentrification is always at the expense of the most vulnerable parts and the most vulnerable people in Philadelphia.
One of the outcomes from the fight against the 76ers arena was the creation and development of the Ginger Arts Center. Primarily led by youth organizers, this center serves as the third space for the youth of Philadelphia. I talked to some members of the Ginger Arts Center to learn more about it.
But yeah, we are a youth and arts center made by youth for youth, established by Students for the Preservation of Chinatown, also known as SPOC. The whole reason Ginger Arts Center was created was because as the Save Chinatown fight moved more towards legislation and a city council, what the people at SPOC realized is that as college students who aren't exactly may not be native to Philadelphia, who don't have as much power because they don't have voting power or they're not residents of Philadelphia, another way to resist and to uplift the Save Chinatown coalition was to create a physical third space within Chinatown that could be used by the community, specifically the youth.
What do you think is the biggest weapon against gentrification, as a whole?
Solidarity.
Yeah.
That's a really, I mean, I hate to sound like a repeated record, but it's 100% solidarity. It's this cross-communal, intergenerational, intersectional solidarity is by far the biggest weapon. And that's why these developers are trying so hard to split us apart, because the moments where we do show up for one another, it's so strong and so scary for these developers, they just don't know what to do. And that's the reason why we won in the first place. Had it not been for Black Relief for Chinatown or the other intersectional alliances, we wouldn't have won anywhere. So by far, solidarity is the reason why we won.
I think it was really powerful to show up at City Council. I think one of the things that's great that we're able to do in the city is we're able to go and testify against or for a bill.
Do not allow City Council to be railroaded into a shameful deal and a process that has amounted to a legislative waterboarding. Do not vote for a destruction of the community who now ask for no more from you than to let us live. Thank you.
And so just being able to go up to them, make eye contact with them and, speak from the heart and say this, we don't want this arena. And this is our home. I think that was really powerful. I think that youth are always are often sort of overlooked because they don't, a lot of times don't have voting power. But when adults tell youth hey, you don't have any power, I think a lot of times when youth sort of believe that, they tend to not sort of be involved in community activism and fight for the things that they are truly passionate about. But when youth are sort of, when we believe in youth and invest in youth, I think it can be really powerful for them to get involved.
And then also a lot of Ginger Art staff members are really big activists and really involved in college activists with Free Palestine. I guess we say a lot that our histories and our fates are intertwined because we are all the products of these imperialist systems of capitalism and white supremacy and just really American imperialism. We're all somehow the byproducts or our fates or histories are intertwined because of that, and we've ended up in these situations where we have to fight for our lives, fight for our homes because of that. And so we recognize our histories, recognize the systemic problems that we're facing that are all in some form rooted from the same issue. Yeah.
Through these experiences, I have learned that there have been many instances of gentrification impacting marginalized communities like Chinatown. These communities would then unite and fight against it. I have also learned that student activism has become the backbone of many contemporary social movements. The biggest takeaway is that your opinions, actions, and beliefs may not individually start change, but through unity and solidarity, you can make a difference.